In 1978, Didier Drogba Tebili was born in Abidjan, but spent time between the Ivory Coast with his parents and France with his uncle, who was a Ligue 2 player. When his parents both lost their jobs, the whole family made a permanent move to France when the boy was 15. Nicknamed Tito by his mother, Drogba had learned his skills on the streets and eventually found a team with semi-pro side Levallois. But despite his goal-scoring skills, he failed to stick with the top side, switching clubs so he could go to university to study accounting. Drogba clearly didn't do the maths right. He'd figured he would struggle to make it as a professional footballer and wanted a backup career. He switched to Ligue 2 club Le Mans, but battling injuries and hating his studies, Drogba's football was going nowhere. Until he and his wife Lala had their first son. Little Isaac gave him the reason to go follow his football dream. At 21, it was the turning point in his life. In 1987, Gervais Lombe Yao Kouassi was born in the Abidjan suburb of Anyama. From an early age, his flair and athleticism was apparent, and he was swooped up by the famous ASEC Abidjan Youth Academy. It was there that he adopted a Brazilian style of play, and in tribute, his teammates gave him the Brazilian-style nickname Gervinho. Gervinho left his homeland as an 18-year-old for Belgium, where he scored 14 goals in 61 matches for Beveren, before becoming the next great Ivory Coast footballer to join Le Mans. Lille was his next stop, where he led them to their first Ligue 1 title in 56 years. European giants were taking notice of the darting forward, but it was Arsenal that made the biggest bid. Committed now to counting goals instead of balance sheets, Drogba blossomed in his 20s. Le Mans led to Guingamp, and Guingamp led to Marseille, where 32 goals in his only season at the Velodrome made him a Marseille legend. By 2004, Drogba was off to Chelsea, in a move that would confirm trading finance for football was a good thing. For Roman Abramovich and Chelsea, his signing was money well spent. A Champions League trophy, a club record 34 goals in European competition, and 157 in 341 appearances made him the club's fourth all-time highest scorer. Drogba's Chelsea days were not without controversy. When Jose Mourinho left, Drogba was distraught, threatening to leave too. He received frequent yellow cards and a UEFA game ban for swearing on live television. Rafael Benitez claimed to have a dossier on Drogba's diving, and he had a series of clashes with Manchester United defender Nemanja Vidic, the Serbian losing a tooth in one incident and Drogba being sent off for slapping Vidic in the 2008 Champions League final. But whenever he was called, Drogba did what he does best: score timely goals. So timely to the Blues supporters that he was voted by them as their greatest ever player. He's since been in China, where a heavily publicized stint with Shanghai Shenhua ended badly over payments, and on to Turkey with Galatasaray. But it's in Chelsea where he left his greatest legacy. On the flip side, Gervinho's Premier League debut with the Gunners at 24 didn't go smoothly. A red card against Newcastle, but he's since cemented his place as one of their most dangerous threats on the wing. The Ivory Coast national team, or the Elephants, have suffered their fair share of disappointment and clearly haven't lived up to their reputation as the golden generation for Ivorian football. Drogba might be his nation's greatest player and captain, but age was no longer on his side by the 2012 African Cup of Nations. When he missed a penalty kick 15 minutes from time, Gervinho followed his lead in the penalty shootout, and the Elephants lost again. While he's only lived a handful of years there, Drogba loves his country and has been a crusader for peace and charity. His plea for peace prior to the 2006 World Cup led to a ceasefire in a 5-year civil war. Time magazine has labeled him one of the world's 100 most influential people, and he's a UN Goodwill ambassador.
Talk to people about peace. try to bring people together. This I think I can do.
He's donated a £3 million endorsement fee with Pepsi to the building of a hospital in his hometown, and a portion of his Chelsea signing fee to his first amateur club, Levallois. Like an elephant, Drogba never forgets. And when he does retire, the football world will find it hard to forget him. Gervinho definitely has his work cut out for him if he's to match the iconic status of Didier Drogba.